new things. What is happening? There's some new things coming across the screen and I've never seen them before. So I was just like, what is happening here? So I want to tell y'all, my name is Erica, and about 10 years ago, I was placed on hospice. I talk about my death a lot. But before that, there was this really big thing that happened to me. I got a diagnosis that spoke louder than God. And I don't know if y'all have ever had anything like that happen to you. It's like this moment where the entire trajectory of your life changes in a single instant. I can still, like, these moments are etched into my cellular memory and they're imprinted on my cells, and I know for future generations. I remember the day that I received my diagnosis, and I don't talk about this much, but I'm in the process of writing this poetry book, and last night I thought about that day and how heavy that day was. I still remember the ceiling tile, the color of it, and there was a crack in the ceiling that hadn't been repaired. And it was as if the world got loud and quiet all at the same time. And I didn't hear the full sentence. I just heard terminal, neurological, no cure. And it's as if part of myself had been removed from my body and I was already out of the room. And there's a reason I don't talk about this much, because it's a part of me that's still very raw. No one talks about the death, how to prepare for the death before your death. And I think that's a reverent thing that I need to hold space for today. There's someone in here who doesn't know my story, and I'm going here for you, I believe, and maybe this whole entire collective needs to hear this. I was thinking about that moment in time where the stillness, there are these moments where grief doesn't wail, it doesn't scream, it just stares you right in the face. And at that moment in time, I know that my soul removed itself from my body. My consciousness went elsewhere. And it was as if I was trying to weigh out the options. Like, what options do we have now? Like, so you're going to die. And how do you prepare yourself for that? Not only are you going to die, but all the versions of yourself that thought they had time to do this or do that, all those versions of yourself die in that moment. And you realize you've never had time, that time is sacred, it's a gift, and this lifetime that we get is a gift. I was thinking about deeply last night about how I've kind of skated over the diagnosis part and how I haven't really held reverence for that moment. And there are a lot of people who get a diagnosis like that that's life-changing, and it shakes you to your core, and everything that you thought you had time to do suddenly becomes inconsequential. I remember the first day I was diagnosed, I started this bucket list when my dad died. He was 28 when I died, and I started writing down all these things that I wanted to achieve and accomplish and do, these places that I wanted to go. And in that moment, that very real moment of the paper crinkling under my thighs as I was told that I had 6 months to a year to prepare for my death. Those things, those things on the top of my bucket list all of a sudden dissolved and went away. And I realized that I needed moments of watching butterflies land on flowers. I needed moments where I felt the love of my dog. I needed a moment of passion where I was in a deep connection with my husband. All those big moments, like seeing the Grand Canyon or Niagara Falls, just flow away. And you realize the sacredness of every single moment of every single day. The magic, I know sometimes life is hard for a lot of people. And I hope if you can take one thing from me, is to know that each moment of life you should hold with great reverence. And it truly is a gift. Your death will be a gift also. Everything in between really matters. There's this point where when you awaken, like I had this rare opportunity to live like I was dying on hospice, and then to actually die and survive. I don't know what to call it. Words are so insufficient, but all that, like, you have this awakening and you realize nothing is real. Nothing matters, but yet it all matters, and it's all so important, and it's all so real, and we have to act accordingly. I wrote and posted this poem today because there's still parts of my story that I haven't told. I've touched on Martin Marietta and Lockheed, but I've still been hanging on to this deep part of me. And I thought today, like, by holding space for that moment that diagnosis changed my life and my views and my perspective, I realized that there's still things that I have to talk about. I was given a dream of a very sacred dream, and I was visited again by this ancient land spirit, and I know that like, I've read the book The Fourth Turning, and we're in and amongst the chaos right now. It's what we do in times of chaos that matters. Our only job as a human is to have our own unique experience and share that when we can with others, to hold space and reverence for life. I know that part of my story begins way before that diagnosis. I'm ready to share it, but I'm waiting for the moment, the time. I'm trusting the universe on this. And there have been times that I've shared things with a few people, a group of people, and I've felt comfortable doing that. And I know that this story will help others remember what happened to them. But the only true thing that matters in my entire story is that we can overcome. So many obstacles, so many challenges. Humans are resilient if you want to be. Humans can grow through darkness. We're like seeds. We can be planted into darkness and bloom and stretch and reach for the light. And there are these energetic archetypes that repeat. But there's nothing that says there can't be a new way forward. And I hang on to this hope. And I know maybe a lot of people may think it's delusional. But I have hope and faith in humanity still to this day. And I know that this great awakening of the Pleistocene era is bigger than politics or religion. It goes beyond duality that we understand. It extends into the realms of the unseen and the unknown. There are things that have been done to a lot of people that they don't even remember. It's not about the people who have interfered or interceded, because at some point the universal laws will catch up to those people, and they will be dealt with in a very timely manner, as they have been, and they will continue to be. I want to hold space right now for any moment that has changed the entire trajectory of your life. A moment, a single moment where you thought, I'll never get over this. I'll never be the same after this. We've all had them. Mine came in the form of a diagnosis, of hospice, of divorce, of homelessness during that time. I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations in my life, but not without great revelations and realizations about myself and the people around me. And sometimes we go through things to grow through them. I know there are moments in everyone's lives that you can think about, and you remember you remember all the sights, the sounds, the smells. And there are many moments in my life like that. And so I've had to learn to make many more sacred moments by being outside and paying attention to when that butterfly lands on the flower or the pile of poop, whichever one it is. But they're both reverent and beautiful and sacred. And we're part of this larger ecosystem where we are the earth and she is us, and we are the Father Sky and the land spirits. We can all choose to embody those and walk with and let them comfort us in times of grief. I know a mother bear has held me. I know a pecan tree that knows my name and knows how heavy the weight I carry is. We have forgotten as humans because we've been exhausted by design. We've been distracted by design. We've been overwhelmed by design. But what if I told you, you can be the architecture too? You can orchestrate and create your world and your peace. It does not have to be chaos and confusion. It can be sacred and reverent. You just have to remember. And how you remember is forget everything that you were told and taught to believe about yourself, about the world, about life, about death. Since my passing, I have had this fire in my belly and the earth in my rib cage. And I walk with her and I don't try to dominate her, but I walk alongside her because that's what true love is. You can't walk someone's road for them. You can walk beside them. You can walk behind them. You can even walk in front of them, but you can't walk it for them. Each road is different, but each road is special and sacred and part of this intricate awakening. You just have to remember to forget. You have to remember to forget everything that you were told about yourself, all the limiting beliefs, all the negative behaviors that you've instilled and thought they were your own. You have to remember who you came in this world to be. I see it so clearly with my 3-year-old. She walks in this world unafraid, unashamed, unrelenting, unbound, unscathed. And she teaches me how to forget. She teaches me how to forget the first time someone told me it wasn't okay to be who I was. And I hope that I can give that to you today. Because we've all had those moments in our lives where someone told us that we should be different. And I'm going to tell you that creates a lot of friction in our own bodies. It creates a lot of sickness within us all when we are not aligned with our truest, highest selves. And there are people and dark entities that know this and count on this. Who were you before someone told you to be different? Before someone told you you were weird? Before your mom smacked you across the face and told you it wasn't okay to say that? Who were you before you were hurt and broken by the world? Don't stop being the good in the world, because you are the good that the world needs right now. You see, a lot of us in this community who are aligned with this message today, we've always been told we're too much for the world. Yes, we were made to be too much because we don't belong here. We were designed to create something new, to change the systems that have been broken and fueled by greed. We were made to change and shape the new earth and bridge this widening gap between. So I'm here today asking you to remember this sacred gift of life and remember who you were. Remember the language of the stars and the mother and the father. Remember who you came here to show. You chose to come here. Our descent was not a demotion. We didn't fall. We flew to this earth. We chose to be here and put here in this time and space to be the change that we know needs to happen. I wrote that poem this morning, The Silence of the Good. And we are living in times of injustice when someone cannot go to work without the fear of being deported and stripped away from their children, even if they're here legally. That's an injustice, friends. No matter what side you're on, you have to know religion worth hanging on to, no faith in humanity no faith worth holding on to would ever tell you it's okay for a parent to lose his child. But the thing about it is this injustice has not just been going on for a little while, and it doesn't just affect people of color. It has affected many children, many chosen children. You know, I stay away from those words and those labels, but there's just nothing else that fits there. I come to you with this space in my heart wide open. And I just hope that you can see the love pouring out of me and the truth. It's time. It's time. The silence of the good. The house still burns down, whether you look or not. The silence of the good is the lullaby that rocks the tyrants to sleep. I don't know what that looks like for you. I know each of you will feel a pull in your heart to do certain things. Lead with love. It's stronger and it conquers everything and all things. When we choose to see these hurt people and love them, it expands your energy beyond your blueprint. It expands, and it's not the end of the spiral, but the beginning of a new, ever expanding branches. It's like a root system mirrored as above and so below. And I want to expand on that as I watch my elderberry and my pecan grow together. And against all odds, they should not exist together because an elderberry needs sun. And the pecan shades her, but she still grows. And y'all remember that rotten tree on my land that I was telling y'all about, and how I thought trees were majestic and holy, and I thought, she can't want a divorce from this tree. Y'all remember that? I told y'all that months ago. This weekend, I told her she didn't have to support that tree anymore. And branches begin to fall. And I realized that throughout time and space, we are firmly rooted sometimes, and sometimes we choose to feed the rot. Thank you, Miss Joan, for that. Yes. We have been taught to seek external saviors, whether it be Jesus or... I want to tell y'all something about the creator of all things. The one too great to be named. Some people will call him Yahweh or Yeshua, but the true creator of all things is too great to be named. More ancient than me or you or anything on this land more ancient than the cockroaches. The point of creation that's too great to be named made us to co-create what we want. And through some kind of fine print or agreements, we've agreed to be in this codependent Munchausen by proxies relationship. It's time to take back your power, your voice. People like me and you can't stay silent anymore. I've written many letters to Governor Lee here in my state, and I'm sure they all left me on unread, but I'm telling you, like, we've been taught to seek external saviors, and we cannot do that anymore. I have been feeling more and more pulled to start this new thing, and I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how it happens, but when I trust the creator of all things, and I trust the universe, and I trust myself, then things fall into place, and kind of, they don't always fall into my lap. I have to go for them, and I have to align myself with what I need. And the funny thing about the universe is we don't always get what we want, but we always get what we need. There are people in my community who can't afford groceries. There are people in my community who have been vanished without a trace. There have been undercover ICE agents who will show up at people's houses and rip them away from families. In no faith of humanity is this ever okay. We did it to indigenous people, and now they're doing it to Hispanic people. There's a reason for this. There are hidden bloodlines on this earth who have ancient wisdom and knowledge. They have known what the prophecies hold. And you see, a lot of people are terrified right now because they're losing power and control. And these are in the form of 5 major corporations that run the entire world. I have been shown. They haven't just done this to brown children, indigenous children, black children. They've also done it to white children, the children of the Ozarks, the children of the Appalachians. And I know that a time is coming very shortly when it will all make sense and we will all see what has been done across the entire population. And when that story breaks and when that truth comes out, it will dissolve the division that has been created to keep us apart. I remember as a young child reading the story of Babel, about the Tower of Babylon, and being so confused by that. Like, why would an all-loving God, an all-knowing God, decide that people should not be unified, should not have peace among them? And then I realized whenever I passed away, I saw time and time again that the original 4 tribes that were placed on this earth in the very beginning with the co-creator. We have done this to ourselves over and over and over again, because when we see each other's differences, we think, well, that's different. I don't really like that, because we're hardwired to seek out what we want confirmed. It's hardwired in us. But we were never meant to separate. We were always meant to cherish and celebrate each other's cultures and differences. But the division is wide and big. I remember having this really sacred dream recently, and I only shared it with 3 people to get their input on it. And I had it again. And I thought, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. I know it is my responsibility to sit with things and fully understand them before I share them or speak about them. So I want to let y'all in on this and help y'all understand what I'm sitting with. I know that when this old part of my story is told, that it will allow a channel for other people to tell their stories. And then this illusion of division that has been placed among us to say, well, you know, the white people did this to the indigenous people. The white people have done this to the black people and the Asian people. The white people also did it to white people too. And there's a reason. We hold ancient wisdom and knowledge within our bones and our blood. That can't be taken away. It's been done throughout generations, throughout times and spaces and dimensions and realities. And I'm telling you now that whenever these stories start to come out about how we've all been removed from our parents and we've all been placed with other people who were detrimental to our growth and development, and how we were placed into these programs that harmed us to see if they could use us, and how we had been used to harm other cultures and other countries. When that is told, all the divisions, all the walls will be broken. And it will open up a lot of understanding. And it doesn't mean that we will ever forget what was done to people, the ancient keepers. Doesn't mean that we forget that. It means we hold reverence for it and space to heal it, and know that something new has to transform from this moment. What we are doing is not beneficial. It's not working. I feel blessed with abundance since I have been living in my authenticity. The universe has rewarded me exponentially with pecans, with raspberries, with a garden that is flourishing, and it's a blackberry winter here in Tennessee. I don't know if y'all know that, but like blackberry winter is like when it's in the 70s during the day and then the 40s at night, and the blackberry bush like holds its flowers, and your garden's not supposed to grow during that. You too will be rewarded with abundance. But it may not be in the way that you want it to look. It may not be in the form of money, because money is not going to matter in a few months. We're past that system. You will be cherished and celebrated for your creativity. Because we're going to need a lot of creativity to bridge this gap. And a lot of you have been anchors, lighthouses. You've held the keys. A lot of you have had jobs. And now you're wondering, like, when is it time? When is this going to happen? I'm telling you, it's already happened. It's already happened. And time is not linear. So we have to sit. And we have to hold space. And we have to be okay with rest and conservation. I talked about this moment that I had in the yard the other night. We had a really chaotic day, and we had boo-boos and heartbreaks, and there was just a lot of stuff going on in my house. And there's nothing like when your child is heartbroken and you've been so far removed for such a long time, and then that connection happens again. And I don't want to say the universe rewarded me with that, but at the same time, I know it was. It was a gift. It was a sacred gift, no matter how it happened. And in a moment of grief, there was space for validation and all of the things that one person needs in life. And my windows were open because it's been so cool at night. And I was listening to the frogs and the locusts. And I told my husband, I'm just going to go outside for a minute. And I leaned and felt the bark of the pecan on my back as I smelled honeysuckles. And I was watching fireflies in the yard, and I heard all the frogs and just the songs of spring filled my heart. The sights, the sounds, the smells. And in that moment, I realized that I had been given a true gift of knowing what is sacred, what is God. And I thought in that moment, I don't need anything knocked off my bucket list. I need moments like this so that when I return to the earth, I can put all of those happy memories back into this earth on a cellular level. It's extremely important what we tell ourselves. If I would have stayed on hospice and resigned to death, I would be dead. But because I wanted more than death, I wanted life, I continue to live and love deeply and boldly and proudly. And I'm going to tell you something. She's 17, and I told her that when you love boldly, proudly, loudly, and authentically, you best believe that there will be hurt with it. But it's what you choose to do with that hurt after it hurts. After you allow it to hurt and you heal it, what will you let it reside in you as? Will it be even stronger love, or will it be bitterness? You have a really important choice in those moments. And as I hold space for that moment of my diagnosis that was louder than God, I want to go back to this moment and give it space and hold love for that moment. Because I remember the smells, the sights, the sounds, the crinkling of the paper, the cracks in the tile. And I thought, how much are they charging me and they can't fix the fucking tile? And that's all that was going on in my mind. And I heard the diagnosis. But all I could think about was how much money I've paid these people to tell me I have to be okay to die. I'm 30 years old at that moment, not anymore. And they can't even fix the ceiling. That fracture has not been repaired. But the fracture you're giving me right now, I have a choice. My soul has two options. I can just admire the crack and let it go further and continue to shatter everything. Or I can patch it right now and repair it and see it for what it truly is. I'm asking all of y'all to hold space for those moments that have shook you, brought you to your knees, and you thought you'd never recover, but you did. Something in you was stronger than that moment. I'm asking you all to remember this, because in the coming days, there will be moments where people fall apart, and people need guidance, and people need direction. You will be that. People will come to you chaotic and confused, and they will need you. This is why you were too much for the old world. Because you didn't belong there, but you belong exactly where you are right now. You're exactly where you need to be in the time and the space and the place. Don't forget that all of the things in between hold meaning and are valuable and precious. We are in the turning of chaos, and we have been. It started in 2006, and if you read the book, The Fourth Turning, you can kind of see, but I was shown that we definitely have cycles. The last time was the French Revolution, the Civil War. We're at a crossroads right now, and I don't know, at any moment anything can change. So if people choose fear and not love, we will be in the midst of a storm and chaos. But if enough people choose to lead with calm, love, and understanding, we will be on a bridge, a safe bridge. That's why sometimes time travelers or time benders can get things wrong, because the obvious choice that we saw is not the one that the world chose to take. And I see that now. Like when my dad sat me down at my death and showed me this movie and this script, he showed me 3 possible outcomes. And I thought, oh yeah, humans are definitely going to choose that easy one, the middle one. And much to my surprise, we did not. But no matter what we go through, there is this single point in time where all the light and love and unity and peace come together in a single point. And it overrides all the darkness and greed and harm and hurt that has been caused through millennia of darkness. we're exactly where we need to be. And we are exactly who we were made to be. We have to stop doubting ourselves, doubting our gifts, doubting our intuition. Last night, I live on the New Madrid fault line, and we get these little tremors all the time. Somebody in one of the lives had sent me this guy in South Africa who I've never seen before, and he was talking about the New Madrid fault line. And then I thought, I'll be shown when or if I'm even supposed to move and survive this. And at that point, no lie, this was 3 o'clock in the morning, my daughter, my 3-year-old, had woke up, come to my room, and we were awake for a little tremor. When we see life as a sacred gift and do not question the things that we are shown, we are led, we are guided divinely, and we can't question that. We can't doubt it. Keep going. Thank you for sharing time and space with me today. I'm very grateful for each of you, and I look forward to sharing more time and space with y'all. Remember to hold reverence and gratitude for those moments. I will upload this to YouTube because I feel like it's an important one. So if you're just coming in or missed it, please go over there and watch it. Look for those glimmers and not the triggers, and be the light that others need you to be. No. Be the light that you need yourself to be. I love y'all. Welcome to New Earth.